Scent bird, I smell good, bish. And if you want to smell good like me, you'll click down below in the description box and get 15% off of your first month subscription service to Scentbird, which is a monthly subscription service that sends you perfumes, candles, hand lotions, and makeup. So you guys get down below, check out their website, and sign up. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another 90 Day Fiance. So I hope you guys are having a great Monday. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Okay, you guys, so let's start off with Darcy and Jesse. All right, they worked on my nerves this episode because you go through all of this tumultuous bullshit throughout all of these episodes, fighting and fussing over every little thing that you do, say, movements in your body, breathing too hard. These two people do not belong together. But somehow, because it's time to leave now, Jesse has decided to go back to Darcy's, and they got back together. And they spent the whole night talking. And then they have to drive for hours to get to the airport. But first, she wants to have one last attempt of making it seem like a big happy family and bring him over to her daughters so that he can say goodbye. And he's like, thank you very much. And, all meek and quiet. Thank you very much. I'm so appreciative of the time I've spent with you and all of that bullshit. And the daughters are like kind of weirded out, like, okay, it seems like he's trying, so it's cool, but he obviously didn't make a great impression on us. I just kind of feel like Jesse and Darcy are both ridiculous fucking people. Like, oh my God, you are so unhappy in this relationship, but for some reason you can't stop fucking with one another. You're gluttons for punishment. Why do I have to watch y'all be gluttons for punishment? The Lord is trying to tell us that Darcy and Jesse don't need to be together. Thundering during this segment of the video. So while they're driving for the hours, it seems that Darcy really wants him to put a marker on where they are in their relationship. She wants a proposal. And Jesse has said this entire time that Darcy wanted a proposal as soon as she met him. So he's not really giving her any specific answers. He's just like, yeah, I can see a future, but I'm not really going to say anything specific, so you can't hold me to it. And he really hopes that getting away from her, going back home, even though he says it's for work, will give him the space he needs to really mull over how he feels about her. And ultimately, he's going to decide that they don't need to be together, because you know what? They don't need to be together. And Darcy is just thirsty for love and attention, and because they are so sexually attracted to one another, and I'm guessing have a great sex life, that's all they can see. Once they get into these arguments, these heated arguments, then they have makeup sex, and it's great for like 5 minutes, and then they're fucking arguing again. So if you ask me, I think that Jesse is going to make the right decision when he decides to break up with her next episode. Darcy, however, is doing something that she thinks is going to help her keep him, and I'm just like, girl, there is nothing you can do to help you keep that crazy ass little boy. You don't need to keep that crazy ass little boy. He is not about to be the stepfather to your kids. Let that fantasy go, Darcy. I think part of your issue is you live in a fantasy world. They get to the airport. She was about to make him late, which seemed like on purpose, just so she could have more time with him. They finally make it there on time. He's like, good job, babe. They jump out of the car. Of course, she has to jump on him and hug him. And then he walks off, and she runs and hugs him again, right in between the sliding doors, and then he just kind of holds her like a fucking 2-year-old for like another 5 minutes, and then he walks off and she walks away, and she watches him until he finally walks off to go to his plane. And I'm just like, y'all had more love and compassion for one another in the 5 minutes that y'all left than y'all did in this entire fucking show. And the entire time that I've seen y'all, I haven't seen this much love and compassion. I haven't seen Jesse be this nice to her the entire time. Last 5 minutes that they together, most love I've seen the whole season. So this episode, you guys, we met 30-year-old Marta. Okay, Marta is a exotic dancer, single mother of 2 cute little kids. And she is online dating a guy who's a Muslim in Algeria named Zaya. And I'm just like, or Zaya, I'm not sure. Either way, I'm like, girl, like, why are you doing this to us right now? Okay, let's count them off. First thing, they don't speak the same language. She hardly speaks any English, and she doesn't speak any Arabic. Rule 1, y'all should speak the same language. Number 2, be equally yoked. You can't be diehard Catholicism and he's over there being real hard Muslim. It don't work like that, especially with her having a job, number 3, as the exotic dancer, which goes against the number 2 of being equally yoked. All right, because if y'all was equally yoked, a Christian might be able to get over the fact that you strip for a living and that's what you've done in your family for generations. Your mama was a stripper, your grandmother was a stripper. I'm not mad about it. She said there is no shame in her game, and I feel like, girl, however you feel the need to make your ducats, your mom seems smart enough to, realize that when the body goes, you still need to do something. You know what I'm saying? You still need to make some type of money, baby, But either way, I'm just looking at this little girl like, and I'm calling her a little girl because did y'all see her room? Like, was that her daughter's room or her room? Did she have her daughter's toys in her room? What was that about? It was a whole bunch of, ponies and silvery shit. It just looked like a teenager's bedroom. And even though she seems to be a competent, loving mother, I'm not sure if all of the vegetables are there. I'm not sure if everything that is there for this picnic is all there. Like, I'm just telling y'all. Something about her is not right. Why do you want to be with a man who is not going to be okay with anything that you do, especially your job that you find such pride in? Like, he's just going to get over that and be okay with it. He's a Muslim. I don't think he's going to be okay with you being a stripper, sis. I don't know what you're thinking. And then because they've been having arguments about this because he wants her to convert to Islam, I'm like, oh girl. She's supposed to be going to see him for 2 weeks out there in Algeria. And her mother, Juanita, is very worried because it's Muslim territory. And she feels like something might happen to her daughter because she went to a psychic and a psychic told her that harm was going to come to her daughter, especially if she went out there by herself. So she is worried that they might kill her daughter, stone her, some type of crazy shit, try to put her under the jail for having a nipple out. You don't know. Just not real comfortable with this whole situation. And I totally get why, Juanita. Juanita, your spidey senses are tingling, and I'm feeling how you feeling, that your daughter Marta need to find her man in a country that does not have, those hardcore Muslimic traditions tied to them. That is way too much. You need to find somebody who is Christian like yourself, baby. You got to be equally yoked. All right? Especially if you feel so strongly about it. If y'all feel like y'all can, teach y'all child both ways of living, I don't think y'all can do that, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I don't think that really can happen. So, I'm sure there's somebody out there that will tell me I'm wrong, that Muslims and Christians can have, long marriages and have kids together without trying to kill one another over their religious, differences. Fine. There are probably a couple of people out there that can make that work. Great for them. But for the majority of people, that is not going to work, Marta. Oh my God, she's just, exhausting. And then I have those 2 cute little children in the mix. I just, it's like, come on, girl, make better choices. This looks fucking stupid from the gate, from the door. From the door, I'm looking at this like, no, this is not gonna happen. No. Y'all, John and Rachel are enjoying some of the most romantic last days that 2 people on before the 90 days could ever have, okay? But it's all fucked up and interrupted when they decide to go and meet with his best friend, Matt, who spills the tea that John has never been in any monogamous relationship, has never wanted to marry anybody, and he is rather concerned for Rachel because she's the one that has kids and has the most to lose, and he's just never known his homeboy John to not be a whole hoe out here. And I'm just like, everybody keeps saying this about John, but if he's never felt this strongly about any other woman before and he feels this strongly now, just give that man room to breathe, okay? Y'all don't need to be so cautious on everybody else's part, all right? I'm just saying, I feel like his family members, his sister, his friends, they just go way too hard to prove that he's not a good guy. And I just kind of feel like that's so unfair to them in their relationship just because he's never been in one like this before, he might be fetishizing Rachel. I don't see it like that. He seems to be in love with her. He seems to be attracted to her. He seems to want to be in her life. He seems to want to try and be a father to her kid. So I don't understand why everybody is hating on this situation. And the friend Matt just made the situation worse by him bringing up the things that have gone on in John's past. John talked about all the different relationships he's had before before, one of which included an open relationship, and that completely turned Rachel off because she feels like it's just an honest way of cheating and it's disgusting. Oh girl, you just told us that you've been in relationships before when you got cheated on. So what's the difference between being in an open relationship and being in a relationship where you're being lied to and being cheated on? Somebody reach out and tell me. Like, I just don't see it, but I understand how she feels. She has her own pains that she's gone through and the hit she took to her self-esteem from being with somebody who she couldn't trust. So I totally get why she feels that way, but I don't feel like his past is for you to accept or for you to judge. If you want to be with this man, you're going to have to accept the fact that he's had a life before you, and that life might have included fucking some married women who didn't mind, having open relationships. That's their business, okay? Everything ain't for everybody. That's fine. But, I just felt her judginess was just a little bit way too much for me. But then when she started to cry, I realized that it's coming from a deep-rooted place of hurt and sadness within herself. And that really don't have nothing to do with John. Okay? And John says that she needs to just trust that he's different now and he wants to be different for her, and that he's not the man that she's been with previously. He's not going to dog her out like that. And I feel like if they've been talking to each other this whole time and he hasn't cheated on her, nobody had anything to say. They obviously wanted, her to realize the type of guy he was. So I don't understand why, if he wasn't cheating, why anybody, wouldn't bring it up. If he was cheating is what it. So I don't understand. Like, if he was cheating throughout the time when you weren't there, I'm sure his friends and family would have been happy to give you that information, since they seem so, excited about breaking y'all the fuck up. Like, Jesus Christ. Either way, I'm rooting for John and Rachel, but they're going to have a hard time of it because she has to go back home and she doesn't have the money to travel back and forth to England like that. And they're trying to get a fiance visa, or maybe they can try to get a marriage visa. It'll probably be quicker if they get a fiance visa, but because of his record and already being denied to come in just for a visit, like, they just not feeling too optimistic about it. And I feel bad for them, because I feel like somebody getting in a few fights does not mean that they can't come to this country. Like, I think that's kind of fucked up when you think about how many people who live in this country and fight and kill people all the fucking time, and you ain't out here deporting them. I just feel like that's kind of stupid. Like, for fights, come on now. Come on now. I think we get, the way we like to put people in prison, you think this wouldn't be a big deal. Okay? Did y'all see the baby Lucy call him dad when they were saying their goodbyes? Y'all, I was just like, oh my God, it's only been a little while and she's already calling him dad. Oh my God. Like, it's so cute. Nah, that little girl is precious, okay? That little girl is very, very precious. But you know what? Matt brought up a good point, that they had really only been around each other for 2 weeks. They haven't spent an extended period of time with one another. How do they know it's going to work? And you haven't been with him long enough to see when he gets really pissed off about something and can't control his anger. And, that's a real fear to have. It's just so much up in the air, and you would really hope that, it wouldn't be this hard to try to be in a relationship with somebody just because they live in another country. And it's obviously not that easy. So y'all, Angela and Michael go to have a romantic day on the beach. They rented like this little hut, and it's right on the beach, and they're supposed to have a romantic time. But Angela wants to talk about why Michael still hasn't put her picture up on his phone, all right? He said he would do it, and he still hasn't done it. And for her, that's just a teller of how he's always telling her what she wants to hear in the moment and lying to her. And I totally get why she feels this way. Why is her picture not on your phone if you love her, Michael? And that's because you ain't really trying to fuck with that old lady like that. And you need to let that old lady leave instead of trying to beg her to stay and trying to offer her all of that Z, just so you can get to America. Stop it. Like, stop it, sir. Like, try to get to somewhere else in Africa. Like, fuck out of here with that shit. I'm gonna need for y'all to keep it local. Like, everybody don't need to come here. Not because I don't want y'all here, but just because everybody don't need to fucking come here. Okay? Everybody don't need to be here. Some people need to be where they at. All right? So I just, I'm just like, why? Why is this happening? Angela and Michael are not a thing. And she sits up there and counts off all the times he's lied to her. And she brings up something that happened at the beginning of their relationship that I didn't even know about. Apparently, he told her that a young girl in the neighborhood needed a ride and she didn't have any money. And he gave her a ride and she offered him a blowjob. And before he knew it, his dick was in her mouth. And I'm just like, wow. The fact that your 50-something-year-old ass even believed that shit just say something about you, Angela. You wanted to believe that bullshit, but you shouldn't have believed it because it sounds stupid to me, and it also sounds rapey. What type of man are you that you can't just give a woman a ride without having to get your dick sucked for it? Talking about she was really aggressive. That shit sounded fucked up from the gate to me. So for Angela to float with that for this whole year, and now you want to bring it up, and she says, you know what, I think you and your homeboys went out, and I think y'all wanted to get some puss, and you got some puss, and then wanted to be honest with me about it after the fact, but I don't think that it was the situation you explained to me. And he admits it. He says, yeah, I lied about it. I lied about it. He says in the confessional that he lies because he does not want to deal with all of the screaming and hollering and fighting that Angela likes to do. And I'm like, so that should let you know that you don't need to be with her, Michael. You work on my fucking nerves because I don't think you're attracted to that lady. I don't think you want to be with her. I do think you're just using her. And I think she's just sad because she should fucking know better. So their trip is just completely ruined. After the realization that he's a liar, she goes off and gets drunk. He goes off and gets on a phone and calls her daughter Scotty and tells her that Angela misunderstood him. So when Angela calls her daughter all drunk and Scotty tells her, Scotty is like, I think he's still just scamming you, mama. That's her one line. He's scamming you. He's scamming you. And I'm like, bitch, no, he's not scamming her. It's not the same thing. Like, he's not trying to get a large sum of money out of her and put into a bank account. That's not what's happening right now. He's lying about what he really wants out of their relationship, but I think somebody in America could do that too. And Michael walks up and Angela is like, oh, there go his lying ass right there. And he's like sitting down trying to talk to her. She's like, you need to stay 2 seats away from me, and I'm over you, and this is done, Michael. I don't care about anything else that you have to say, Michael. I mean, she's over it. All because he's not putting her picture on the phone. I feel like if he had put her picture on the phone, we would not even be having this argument right now, okay? He can't take it anymore, so he gets up and walks away. He's like, I am tired. I am tired. I cannot do this anymore with her. She just gets so upset. She's so aggressive. So I'm just going to go and lay down, okay? She's walking back to the hut. She's like, Michael, okay? You just bring my shit up out of there, okay? Just throw my stuff out the door because I don't even want to go in there with you, okay? I just want to go back home. So he opens the door. He said, come and get your shit. And then he calls her daughter once again, and she's like, you calling my daughter? You bringing my family into it? Y'all know she gets so upset when you bringing her family into it. I'm like, Angela, calm the fuck down before you stroke out. Either way, their relationship is over, all right? She leaves, he leaves. She going back to America. He gonna have to find him somebody else to scam. Bitch, Michael and Angela are no more. I was too mad the way she was like, you're not gonna be walking around wearing my president's hat. And I'm like, girl, kill yourself, okay? Kill yourself. Y'all, why was Paul walking around in what seemed to be a bulletproof vest? What was that about? Like, I know you living in extreme poverty right now, fucking around with Karini, but geez Louise, like, what was that about? I was just like, is that supposed to save him from drowning or getting shot? I didn't know. However, he's looking around the ghettos of the neighborhood that they live in, looking for flowers so that he could bring some flowers to Karini because they've been arguing once again, okay? Arguing once again. And you want to know why? Because he took it racial, and that's what I'm talking about. Even though I feel like they're not racist, I feel like they let their prejudices dictate the things that they say when they get upset, which lets you know that they probably really don't love you, okay? How can you really love Karini and want to call her brother and his friend and his old lady a thief because they ate the food in your house? It was inconsiderate. If anything, it was very inconsiderate, and like he said, they don't have a lot of money, and she out here letting her brother, his girlfriend, and his friend come over and eat all the food they got for the week, and he got to save these ducats. He got to save this money so she could lay her ass up in a bed and be on social media all day, okay? He was just very upset, and he called her family a thief and basically said, why do we have to lock the doors when a thief is inside? Baby Karini was so pissed off. She said, he called my brother a thief. I don't have nothing to say to his ass. So he get back to that little apartment with the flowers and fruits and shit. And Karine is not trying to talk to him. He corrals her out of the bed to come into the kitchen and have a conversation. But she don't really have anything to say. She said, you know why I'm mad. He says, you can't sit down and tell me why you don't want to be together. And she's like, no, you know why? I want a divorce. And I'm like, damn, we went straight to divorce. She said she wanted divorce. So then he proceeds to follow her around the apartment screaming, fale, fale, fale. I guess that means talk. You know what I'm saying? He's like, so you're going to vamos, you're not going to fale? I was like, really? You're just going to keep saying that shit? Then she left the apartment and took it all the way down the block to her auntie's house, and he ran after her. Karine. I was like, oh my God, I so understand why she's running away from him. He is annoying as shit. She locks the gate behind her, goes upstairs to her auntie's apartment. He just gotta wait, all right? So the next time we see him, he's sitting down with her mom because her mom wants to get some shit off her chest. She said she wants to start by saying Paul is a smart ass, okay? He's a smart ass and he can't accept anybody else's opinion but his own. And she will kindly take his ass down to the grocery store and purchase everything that he said was stolen from them, all right? Because she says that he doesn't really love Karine. He doesn't love Karine. He doesn't respect her, because if he did, he would sit down and talk to her instead of demeaning her and treating her like shit. Mama is not here for him at all. And she asked the translator to ask Paul, because you know they need a translator. Y'all should have seen the shade. She was all like huggy and kissy with the translator and just looked at Paul like this. I'm like, oh, she don't like him. She don't like him, not even a little bit, not even a lot. Okay? Look, Mama was over it. Paul said, you know what? I do everything, all right? I do everything I can, and nothing that I do is ever good enough. Everything I do is wrong. That's why I can't take this shit no more. I give and I give and I give, and this is all I get in return. Paul feel like he's the only one fighting for their marriage, and I'm like, yeah, Paul, yeah. You the onlyest one. And a mama is trying to make the wedge that is grown between you and Karine even bigger. So he gives Mama the ring, and, you know, just go ahead and run off into the sunset. I guess it's over between him and Karine, and Mama said, good riddance to bad rubbish. I was trying to break their asses the fuck up. So y'all, Ricky and Jimena have been kicking it for about a week and some change. And he still hasn't told Jimena about Melissa. But he planned this little weekend trip to another island in off of Colombia, I guess. And it was something that he seems to have planned the entire time for him and Melissa. This girl can't get nothing. Jimena can't get nothing just for her, okay? So the whole time they're on the boat ride to the hotel, he's like, you know, I have something to tell you tonight. I have something to tell you tonight. And he thinks that's helping her prepare herself for what he has to say. But I don't think she can prepare herself unless she already knows, and we don't think Jimena knows everything. She's sitting up there all in love with this nigga, talking about how great of a man he is and how nice everything he's done for her, and she just can really see herself with him. And it's real fairy tale right now, all right? So they get to the hotel and they have this romantic dinner put together with rose petals and flowers, and bitch, I was here for it, okay? And he circled the airport about 5 times. I'm like, can you bring this bitch in? He really just continued to hold out on actually saying what the situation was, to the point that she started to cry because she was like, can you just fucking say it already? And then he says finally that he met a woman named Melissa on the website before her, and he was in love with her. And she was like, you were in love with her, so is that the reason why you were here? And he's like, yeah, I came because of her, but you know, I really love you, and I want you to remember that I love you and I want to be with you. And she's like, no. She's like, I am not anybody's second plan. I can't believe you. So everything you've been doing for me, you were trying to do for her. She was like, I am not a plan B. I am over this. I am over you. Everybody's over it this episode. She got up and walked the fuck off, leaving him with his face cracked. And I'm like, that's what you get. That's what you get, sir. That's what you get. All right. I don't feel bad for Ricky because I feel like Ricky don't love nobody. How the fuck you was in love with Melissa and now you in love with Jimena and you're not in love with her no more? Like, this and none of this shit don't make no sense. If that girl would have answered one or two of your text messages, you would still be running behind her ass and would not have even been thinking about Jimena. And even though Jimena might be the better version of a woman that you need to be with, I don't think anybody wants to be somebody's plan B, somebody's fucking afterthought, especially for a nigga that look like Ricky. All right, I'm just saying, you okay? I feel like Jimena is a much better, woman for him than Melissa, obviously, because she actually wanted to be with him, if not anything else. But she seems sweet, and she seems like she could actually really want to be with him, and she can conceal her craziness for a longer extended period of time. But yeah, y'all, that was 90 Day Fiance. It was good. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And share it. Share it with your people. Love you guys.